All right, let's dive straight into it. This is Bolt DIY, and I am pasting this prompt, which is going to ask it to build a simple website using Shad CNUI components. And I have also given it more instructions for some specific details. You can see that I am using the DeepSeek V3 model with the API key from OpenRouter. And don't worry, I'll tell you about that as well. But let's go ahead and give it this prompt. And this is the website that it managed to whip up in a very little time. It's a very nice looking website. You can see that it correctly implemented the Shad CNUI elements. These cards here are also Shad CNUI elements. It also implemented the light mode and the dark mode, which is a nice touch. And the website looks quite nice and beautiful. So welcome to another video. In a previous video, I showed you Bolt.new, which is an amazing tool. Bolt DIY is a free alternative. It was previously named Bolt Fork and then to Auto Dev, but now it's called Bolt DIY. So let me show you how to install it, and then we can test it out further with the DeepSeek V3 model, which is also making waves for being better than Claude models and being 1/4 the price. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out and ensures you won't miss any of the cool tools and tips we've got coming your way. To get started, the first thing you're going to do is copy the repository link from the GitHub repo. Once you have that, open up your terminal and start inputting these commands. First, you're going to clone the repository to your computer using the git clone command. If you already have the repository cloned, simply navigate to the folder and run git pull to fetch and integrate any updates. After that, you're going to execute the npm install command, which will install all the required packages and dependencies for the project. Keep in mind that you do need to have npm installed on your system. Just go to their website and install it for your specific operating system. Once the installation is complete, the next step is to run npm run dev to start the application locally. So you can see here that Bolt DIY has started up after running the command. It has started up on the local host address that it is displaying here. Just go ahead and click on this address and Bolt DIY will open up in your browser. If you have previously used the clone, one of the things you'll notice is that the logo has been updated to Bolt DIY, although most of the other elements on the interface remain the same as before. So if you've already familiar with its previous versions, let me show you what's new in Bolt DIY. So this is what's new in the updated Bolt DIY tool. There's a new Git clone button so that you can directly import your repositories into Bolt. You also have the option to import projects directly from your system using the file upload feature, and you can even import chats as well. They've also added a prompt library with variations for different use cases. Bolt now auto-detects package.json files, automatically installs dependencies, and runs previews for you. There's also a selection tool to target and visualize changes more easily. It now includes terminal error detection with autofix and preview error detection with autofix features to save you time. And if you're starting fresh, there's a new add starter template option. Finally, they've integrated with Perplexity AI to expand its capabilities even further. So, this is the Bolt DIY interface, and you can see that it offers a different number of models here from Anthropic, DeepSeek, Google, and also you can get the models directly from Hugging Face as well. Then you need to select your model number as well, and we've got the Claude 3.5 Sonnet selected here. And then here you can set your API key. You can also set it in your env file, and that would be much better because you don't have to set it again and again, but you can just set it one time and then it will work effortlessly. So before we start generating some code with the new DeepSeek model, here are some additional features that they've added. You can now use speech recognition, but this is only for the models that are actually supported. And while not all models are supported, the main ones, such as Claude and GPT, do support it, so that's a good addition. And you can also link images to provide additional context, which will definitely help you in generating what you want. So this is OpenRouter, and here you can get API keys for not only DeepSeek, but for other API providers which provide your API keys for free or even some paid models. But you will have to come to this website and search it yourself. Now, as you can see, the model is listed right here. But if it's not, or you don't find it, you can just go ahead and search it. So on opening the model, just go ahead and navigate to the API section. And here, just click on Create Your API Key and just go ahead and name it. And if you want, you can add a credit limit and it's going to give you your API key. So I have pasted in my DeepSeek API key and selected the DeepSeek model from the drop-down models. Now, DeepSeek suggests that you use the DeepSeek chat instead of the DeepSeek coder. So I'm just going to switch over to that model. Now I'm going to be building this collaborative whiteboard with the DeepSeek model. I have defined a little bit of simple functions, so let's see what it generates. And it seems like there is an error with the API. Let's try again. So we are still getting the same error. So I had actually chosen the wrong configuration, and instead of choosing DeepSeek, I had to select OpenRouter as that was the API key provider, and from the selected models, I have to choose the DeepSeek V3 model. But if you decide to get an API key directly from DeepSeek, then you would be using the previous configuration that I had selected. Now, when I load the configuration, it started generating the code, so this is what it has generated so far, and now it's running the command to install the dependencies, and it's going to set up the server. So it's taking a little bit of time, so let's see if the preview is ready or not. And it seems that it's not ready. Let's just go back and wait for it. So it automatically switched over to the preview plane. It was just taking a little bit of time, maybe because of the internet connection. So the preview finally loaded, and let me just open it up in full screen. So this is the whiteboard, and as you can see, the cursor changes when I move onto the board, and I can draw anything on the board. I can also change the colors of my cursor, and also I have the option to add text, which is currently not working. Let's see if the shape option works. So the shape option is also not working, but the thickness slider does work. So I'm going to prompt it to fix the functionality for the text and the shape, and also add an option to erase the things we make as well. So let's go ahead and give the prompt. So it's back on the code, and it's going to start changing the code. It's making its changes, so let's see what it makes. So the page had become unresponsive, and I just refreshed it. And as you can see, it has started generating the changes that I asked, and now it's going to run npm install to install the dependency and then start up the server. So let's see what it makes. So this is the updated whiteboard that it has made. So let's go and check out the functions. So it has added the eraser and diversified the shapes into rectangle and circle. So let's test it out. And the pen works. Let's check out the eraser now. And yes, the eraser does work. The icon doesn't change, but it is still working. Now let's test out the rectangle. And the rectangle still doesn't work. And the circle also doesn't work. So all in all, it managed to create a whiteboard with the ability to write text and erase text. You can also choose your specific color and increase and decrease the thickness of the line. But it got stuck on the shapes. So you've seen how the DeepSeek model performs with Bolt.new. There were a few issues along the way, but that might be due to the specific model we used. I highly encourage you to try it out with different models if you have access to their API keys. Bolt.new is a solid alternative to Bolt.new, especially if you prefer a self-hosted setup. If you have the API keys, you can easily get started and customize it to suit your needs. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.